from the bed of recovery. And yes, I am still recovering from surgery. But God has been so amazing through this healing journey process. And I am forever grateful for all the prayers that you are praying. Anyway, so I want to get back to talking about Job. That if Job was here, what would he say to us in the midst of whatever we're going through? And Job will tell us that he understands what it is to be afflicted, what it is to be discouraged, what it is to feel depleted. And the thing is that he will even tell us that he understands that when you have people surrounding you and they questioning you, where is your God? Why are you suffering? Why can't God get you out of this? But Job knew that God had a purpose and a reason for everything. And he understood that it wasn't his will, but it was God's will that needed to be done. And so with that being said, I can literally see Job, just telling us that it doesn't matter what people do or say, trying to get you to denounce God. He will beg you not to do it because of the fact that he knew what it was to have people in his life to stand there, even the people that he probably thought would never think that they would ever say, well, where is your God? Or why is God allowing you to suffer? Are you sure that this is God's will? Questioning. But Job didn't let that bother him. He continued to stay focused. And even when he felt all alone, I'm quite sure he felt many of moments of feeling alone. Because sometimes, even as a Christian and walking the walk and going through the things that you go through, sometimes it still do feel lonely. It doesn't feel like you have a big crowd behind you. It's always sometimes it's those moments when you're trying to validate how you feel. And the thing is that the moment you validate how you feel, there's always someone in the midst who feel as if it is a sin to validate how you feel. But I'm here to tell you that Jesus wept. And if he wept, then why can't we feel the emotions of things that we go through? And so I do believe that if Job was here, he will encourage us not to give up. He will encourage us to keep pressing on, to focus on what God's purpose is in everything. If we could just focus on the purpose. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I'm quite sure Job can speak that it wasn't easy, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it. And I really do believe that if Job could sing, he would tell us, it won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning you. Sooner or later, he's gonna turn in your favor. He's turning around. He's turning around for you. It won't always be like this. I guarantee you, Job, he would tell us that it's not going to always be like this. He understands that it's not going to always be like this. I know that it won't always be like this. That's what Job would say to us. And the Lord will perfect that concerning us. And the things that concerns us is not us being selfish, but sometimes the things that concerns us is the things that we see people go through, that we see people suffer, that we see people, our loved ones, or people that we don't even know, but we are surrounded by, that they are going through. So it concerns me to go before the Lord, to pray and to intercede on their behalf, and to stand in the gap and pray, to lift their arms up in battle spiritually. And believe it or not, you can lift somebody's arm up in battle and they don't even know it. But they will feel the effects of your prayers. There is a lady in Alabama, and I know she feels very depleted. She is going through a separation with her husband. I don't know them. I don't know them personally. I don't know them. But God does. What they are going through, it concerns me. It concerns me to the point to where every day when I think of them and their situation, I want to pray. I want to go before the Lord. I want them to feel God's presence. I want especially the wife and the husband to know that it is never too late. It is never too late to be able to work things out. I don't know them. I don't know them. Like I said, things that concerns me is not all the time about me, myself, and I. Things that concern me is my neighbors, is the people in my community, is the people that surrounds me, or better yet, is somebody in a whole nother country that I don't even know. These things that concerns me, God knows. You know, he don't disregard what concerns me. People may, but God doesn't. And I've been praying for them, that God will turn it around for them, that God would just somehow restore their marriage. Beautiful family, beautiful family. And if you was to look from the outside, looking in, financially, they got it together. It's together. Everything is together. It's just the relationship part is not together. So that's why they say don't be jealous of people, because you don't know what they're fighting through. You don't know what they're fighting through. You don't know what they're fighting through. And the thing is that I really am praying because that thing concerns me. There are things that our loved ones go through. It concerns us. And we gotta know it's not gonna always be like this. It won't be like this. I know it doesn't look like things are ever gonna change. And that's what Job say. You know, I know it's not gonna look like it's gonna change. I've been there. I know. I was in the midst of laying on a bed of affliction. That things don't look like things are ever going to change. But he can testify, he can witness that it will change. It will change. And even when we go before the Lord and we pray and we see things don't change, but then yet we give up. We give up in prayer because of the fact that we just saying, well, they're not changing. And like I was telling somebody that, you know, God, sometimes you won't see what's going deep down on the inside, what God is doing at the root, because you're so busy looking at on the outer appearance. That's why I say it's so important, especially when you're dealing with people. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what you're doing. But even in this marriage, God could be working. And even though God is working and things are not changing that we can see from our physical eye, but I believe God is working in that marriage. And I'm going to keep praying and keep believing. They're not my family. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're not my family. It doesn't matter if I really know them or not. It doesn't matter if I ever sit down and meet and eat with them. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the relationship and the marriage that God has called them together, that they will be the witness that God wants them to be, that they will be the light to other young couples. That wouldn't matter. Those are the things that matter. Those things concerns me. So if they concern me, then they concern God. And you gotta know that no matter what concerns you, that God is concerned about it, and that this is not gonna last forever. There is an expiration date. You gotta stay in the mind frame of this is not going to always last. This is not going to last always. It won't last always because of the fact that God said that you got to keep his promises. You got to keep his promises. Nobody goes through forever. Nobody does. I mean, Job, he can emphasize that over and over and over. If you'll just go and read the Bible, read it for yourself. It's not going to last always. I mean, Job, he went through, yes, he suffered, yes. But in the end, what did he do? What happened? What was the promise that God gave him? Was the promise, was it fulfilled? Yes, he will tell you it was fulfilled. It probably blew his mind. And I'm quite sure all those other people that were surrounding him, that was telling him to denounce God and, give up and I don't understand and all this other stuff. I guarantee you when Job came out of what he came out of, I guarantee you that those people, those same people said, oh, I better get my relationship right with Christ. Because they saw then how even though Job suffered, God was yet still faithful. He was still faithful. And I'm quite sure that Job will, emphasize on how faithful God is. He is so faithful. And I know sometimes it doesn't seem like he's faithful, but he is faithful. He is faithful. Learn from the widow, disabled. He is faithful. He is faithful. He is faithful. Even through the pandemic, he was faithful. And he's still faithful. He is faithful. So I'm telling you, don't give up. Remember, what concerns you concerns God. And you have to remember, it won't always be like this. It just won't. And that's in Psalms 138:8. The Lord will perfect the things that concerns us. Because we got to know that. We got to remember that, because some people make you feel like, the things that concern you is not important to God. But it is. It is. The people that you know don't know what concerns you. It concerns him. And like I said, it don't have to be, a selfish thing, because sometimes we have concerns and, we have worries, and sometimes we just, really concerned about the people that are around us, the people that loves us. And sometimes it be people that we don't even know, but it doesn't matter, because yet God still answered prayer. You just got to keep praying and keep believing and keep trusting. And that's all I wanted to say, is that he won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning us. Sooner or later, it's gonna turn in our favor. He's turning it around for us. It won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning us. Sooner or later, it's gonna turn in our favor. He's turning around. He's turning around for us. Be blessed.